Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in to The Medium by Design. It's another early morning video of a recent writing that I'm going to share with you. Happy 4th of July. God bless America. God bless the 384 subscribers. Thank you so much for understanding that there is some wisdom flowing here, believe it or not, and there's some good stuff being shared that is not just for me, because it is my spiritual journey to do this work, but many of these messages, as you have seen, those of you who have been here before, know that the messages are for everybody. So I had a request to tap into the energy of Cern, C-E-R-N, and this allegedly Cern machine, and I guess there's some concern about turning it on July 5th, 2022, although it's been turned on before, allegedly. And, I don't know anything about it. I usually stay away from headlines and things, but, I can always tap into anything just like you can. So I thought I would write and see what this was about. It's a very short message, but I will expand on a couple of other things while we're here. So here's what I was given about Cern, and see what you think. I can start and allow others to join in. This is from Jesus. First and foremost, this is not something to fear. See, this is what we all take a moment right here, right in the beginning. Every new thing that comes up has to be tied with fear for the masses of people. Not everybody, but as soon as I start seeing the Facebook posts about a current hot topic, the one thing I fear about all those posts is fear. I very rarely see somebody with a sane mind just giving, positive reinforcement about things. It's just not, it's not the trend. People immediately get into fear. And I want to take this moment to share this, even though it's off topic, and I'm going to do this probably a lot. As soon as this Roe versus Wade got overturned, the first thing I see is gay friends. It's gay marriage next. Why do we have to go there? Why do we make assumptions that if one thing is changed, then all these other things, it's going to be a domino effect? That's not necessarily true. But yet the mind, this is an unpracticed, unmastered mind, will immediately go to the next problem, the next possible problem. But what you forget is, when you go to the next possible problem, when your mind stays there, you start creating that. You're responsible for your thoughts. You're responsible for the energy you emote to the world. You have a say in the energy you emote. So when I heard the reverse decision, and it may not even be settled, because there's going to be all kinds of court battles over this. What I heard also, which was not mentioned, I didn't see anybody talking about this, that it was going to be up to states now. Well, what's wrong with that? Years ago, when I used to listen to Ronald Reagan when he was alive and he was the president, he used to say government is way too big. We should really let the power go back to the states. That was one of his foundational public beliefs. Whether it was true or not, or it's alleged, I don't know. But I believed what he said, that the states should govern their own territory, right? So now, if you are a woman, a real woman, biological woman who gets pregnant, you still do have a choice and free will, because I guarantee you, and you can mark my words, that the country will stay divided on abortion rights, and 50% of the states most likely will have pro-abortion rights. Because that's what I see in this country. It's always split down the middle. All right, maybe it'll be 51% are against abortion. You watch, just watch what happens. Just observe. This country always does this. It's always has to be divided. I don't know why we're called the United States. I have no idea why they call this the United States, because we're not united. Not from what I'm seeing. Now, in my own personal life, let's take it down a few notches. In my own personal life, none of the issues that are fought in public are part of my life. None of them, not one of them. No one is arguing around me about anything, about politics anymore, about abortion rights. There are no arguments about anything. And you say, well, how could that be? There's so much friction in the world. No, there's not. Nope, not in my world. And this is leading me to this Cern thing, because it's about creation, really. Part of the theory of this machine. And so anyway, when you're watching something, again, how many times did Jesus and the many others I've written from over the last couple of years talk about discerning, protecting your nervous system from, information that's not for your highest good, that has nothing to do with you? And yet I still see, especially on my Facebook page, people just screaming about anything and everything and upset. It's just not everybody, sorry. I don't want to overgeneralize, but still there are too many people, I think I could say that, there are still too many people jumping into fear of the future. And we need to stop it. We need to stop it. And this Cern thing is the perfect opportunity, getting back to the message now, it's the perfect opportunity to, again, lock in to the reality that you want. And I'm going to give you an exercise, and don't let me forget, because I don't want to forget this. I want to share a fun, simple exercise that you can do to keep building your energy and what you want to see in the world. Okay, so that was the first sentence. He mentions fear, not to fear. There were multiple possibilities and options that could affect life on Earth with this level of technology. But you all must remember that this technology was given to humans by other ET races. The intention is to assist humans to understand more about the workings of the universe. This is something that we unanimously want humans to discover. So you see, the other side is completely supportive and wants humans to learn and discover about the universe. So it's a very supportive vibe coming from all these other interdimensional beings. Well, the positive ones anyway. I'm not going to talk about the other side of that. So let's continue. Yes, there are those that have intentions of control and manipulation and would try to take this technology to change reality in their favor. But you also must know that at this point in human history and discovery, we will only let things go so far. We will not allow anyone to create any level of destruction to cause a global irreversible effect. This simply cannot be part of your reality. We are striving to help humans understand that there is more to the universe than you understand at this time, and that you can become more of what you were meant to become simply by opening your minds to what you do not know. So you see, this is a wide open thought pattern here of we want humans to learn and be open and grow. Yes, there are some that always will have the energy of, I'm going to use it to manipulate somebody. But as the light grows through each of us and refuses to accept that kind of manipulation, then that gets smaller and smaller and smaller as time goes on. And that's how the human race moves past every issue. Once we are unified, this is why we are called the United States, because we're supposed to be unified and be evolving up the spiral of evolution to better and better life experience. Now, of course, you can, argue over this, that that's not what we're doing, but the truth is, if you're doing it in your own life, you should be seeing fruits of your labor. If you truly are embodying those things that you want to see, then you should be seeing some glimmer of hope and reality about the energy that you carry. It should be reflecting back to you. And don't forget, I'm going to get to this exercise. Let's continue. Each of you will do this in your own unique and digestible way. Science has one way of learning and discovery. The spiritual of you have your own understanding bordering on the frequency teaching, which also overlaps what the scientific community knows. So it is easy to see how the seemingly two worlds of understanding, spirit and science, are coming closer together, which is exactly what the goal has always been. It's not unlike the phrase of all roads lead to God. It doesn't matter how you get there, you each will be coming back to God one way or another. There is another faith-filled piece that we see many of you willing to participate in during the day of the 5th of July. Praying, focusing, intending to create the world you want to see is the perfect way to move energy and receive the highest energy frequencies available. This would be the most productive way to use this energy. See, we're getting practical. That's what this is all about, is making spirituality practical and real. For those that don't believe much in energy, it would appear just like any other day, no matter what others may feel or pick up on energetically. This is not unusual. Not every human is equipped with the same level of sensory input receptivity, nor will understand this event in the same way, and it does not matter. There is no need for any one of you to explain and try to get others on board. Only those that are seeking and wanting to be part of an experience, meditation, prayer, or any other energetic exercise that could assist in the smoothest energy transfer should even consider playing a part. Okay, so it's a very benign message. And what is the real purpose of us? What's the overriding purpose of everything that's going on in the world? Is to keep locking into the truth of what you want to see. So let's do this exercise together, right? This is what I do in the morning, usually, before I leave the house, but it can be done any time of day. Remember, I was taught meditation with no restrictions. When I was first invited to that first meditation group 32 years ago, it was a lovely environment in someone's house, and they told us to find a spot in the room, sit as you wish, and they put on this beautiful ethereal music so that you can relax your mind and see where you were going to go. And from the first meditation, I had vision and or messages from the first time, because that environment was very supportive of us to turn off our minds and relax to get in touch with our souls and other souls and the other side. So some of us in that group really did have our initial major reawakening, and it was profound. And that's why people try to promote meditation and have at least quiet time if you don't know how to meditate. But the funniest thing about that is, when I share about meditation, the most common response I get is, I tried meditation once and it didn't work. Okay. Can you feel my frustration about this comment? Since when does it take one time to do something and master it? The only ones that are that way are savants and prodigies, and what's that other word for people born into something? Just like I was born into this, and it just happened, right? I mean, how much do you have to teach about being patient with yourself and self-loving? It's not likely that you do yoga or meditation or any new experience once and you're a pro at it. Now, don't be writing stupid comments. Oh, well, I did this and I was great from day one. Yes, it happens. You can be great at something from day one. Yes, you can. We don't need to debate that. But the majority of people that start something new, like meditation and yoga, the first time you may not be able to turn off your mind. I mean, let's just take things one step at a time and try to be more relaxed, because the whole purpose of spiritual work is to become more relaxed, more centered, more grounded, to get your connection to your soul and be clearer about the life you're here to lead. That's basically, I'm being very basic here. I don't want to get too crazy. So this Cern thing, what we can do starting today on the 4th, if you see this, and it doesn't matter when you see it because time is almost irrelevant now too, You can tap into, if there is a portal opening on any day of the year, you can tap into the truth of what you want to see as more of the energy from the other dimensions bleeds through to our dimension. You can program energy the way you'd like to see it. So the exercise that I do pretty much on a daily basis is I project what I want to see. I consciously say, here's what I'd like to see today in my travels. Okay, this is a very simple, very, very simple. And then you fill in the blank. I'm not going to tell you what to fill in and what you want to see, because you may not have the same vision of the perfect life that I do. So the things that I put on the list, I just state the list. But the thing is, here's the key. It's just like the law of attraction teaching. You can't be insincere when you say these things. They can't be words from your mind. They have to be words and desires from your heart. What do you really want to see? So this requires a true, honest gut feeling about what you see in the world now and what you would rather see. That contrast. This is what I'm seeing that I don't like. This is what I want to see. And it has to be real. It has to be real for you, not for me. I don't care. I have to do the one that I'm going to do. So here's the one that I do, and then you fill in the blanks for you. So I just say to Jesus, God, Creator, all the ET beings, I really expanded the umbrella of speaking to any being from any dimension that knows and loves me. I don't make the assumption, which many spiritual people do, that only the ones they see and hear are the ones that exist. Oh, no. There's a whole slew of beings I haven't even met yet, and I know that. So I stay very humble in those that know and love me, unknown or known to me. Please help me create this experience today. Or we can go into the future if you want to do more work on your own and go into the next year, the next 5 years, you can do that too. Let's just keep it simple day to day, because we're dealing with the Cern energy that's in the consciousness of people now, and supposedly, allegedly being turned on tomorrow. So here I say this, I greet the universe and all the beings, and I say, here's what I would like to see. Love, peace, happiness, and harmony are usually always there, because to me, the basis for creativity starts with love and passion, right? And peace, I can't create very well if I'm angry, rage-filled, anxious, any of the lower emotions. My creative waves don't work well. And I'm still a human. I still have emotions, sometimes all over the board. And you'll see when you're in a really distraught emotional state, the creative flow doesn't work as well. So, because you can't, when you're in those, here's a good piece. When you're in the lower emotions, parts of your body tighten, right? It's just like when you have a life crisis. That crisis gets deposited in the body somewhere in the form of tension, right? So, and this is, muscle memory. It's like a muscle memory theory idea that things get remembered in the muscle fabrics, fibers. And in order to release that, you have to do something that reverses that lets it out. So I do massage and chiropractic. That's how I keep my body in alignment, right? Because something's always happening. So you're saying these things on your list. And then if there's any residual in you that doesn't agree, anything in the body that doesn't agree that you should have those things you're asking for, you may notice the tension in the body. So then you can actually let the light come in and focus on the light going to those areas. Like lately, my lower back and hips are tight. I felt it before the last massage, and I'm still feeling it after. So what do? I keep trying to take deeper breaths and relaxing the hips. I want the hips to open again and be relaxed. Something in me is sensing some kind of fear or something or harm, and my hips are getting on the defensive. So this is how we work with our body, mind, and spirit and try to get all three working harmoniously. So back to the exercise. So you're projecting these things out to the world. Now, when I do this, my intention is that everybody has access to the energies that I'm promoting. I am promoting this to the world, that every soul that can feel, know, and desires the same energy that I want to see, that they have accessibility to that. And then I add perfect health and financial freedom. And most people don't talk about that. But why shouldn't everybody have accessibility to perfect health and financial freedom? Right? And that's something that I do. Now, after I projected, and you fill in the blanks, you do what's right for you, you fill in the blanks. And then I ask that wherever I go, ahead of my steps, and I believe there's a Bible verse on this, but I don't have it in my head right now, I'm sorry, that the Spirit goes ahead of me, right? So if you want to be scientific, the energy that I'm requesting to see in my life goes ahead of me because the universe knows where I'm going today. Whether I stay home or go out, it's all already known. So I send that energy out to everywhere I go and all the people I'm going to meet for the day. Okay, so now I've already projected it way into the day. And the third piece is I ask that energy come back to me full circle. And I visualize the circle of all this beautiful energy wave coming back to me because I solely believe that's what I want and know that's what I deserve. And I own it. And that's the light being grounded in your body of the things you want to see on the earth in your life today. Not next year, not 5 years from now, but this is what I want to see today. So it's a little bit overlap if you study the law of attraction, but you have to own it in your physical body. You have to own the energy and truly believe it and say it with conviction. It's not a head trip. It's not an ego trip. It can't be done falsely or insincerely because it will not work. And that was the complaint with people that practiced and studied the law of attraction that didn't see results. We don't see the results because we truly inside somewhere in this body, there is a locked up energy that says, no, you're not going to get that. It's not going to happen. So we as individuals have to release all those layers of non-belief and lower beliefs, okay? Here's an example of how deep our beliefs go and how we project them. I did a few really incredible readings in the last few weeks, like really over-the-top things happened for people, and I'm really, really pleased with how Spirit is working with me and other people. So one example is this person that I do know, lovely, lovely lady, love her to death. She gets 2 writings, and the second writing is from someone she wanted a writing from, but was concerned it might be negative. Because in the real world, in real life, when that person was alive, their relationship was very, very abusive. And this person, this wonderful woman, she feels very abused from her family, okay? This is something that everybody could relate to. I'm keeping it very general. So the message comes in completely the opposite of what she thought. That this person on the other side now tells her who she was in the family, that she carried the most light, that we know she was trying to bring something positive, and then she comes clean and says, but we can't receive what you have. We were never going to get it. And she's like asking her, can't you see that? Can't you see that what you were offering, we were never going to receive? And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Can't you own that as your truth? That you came into the world with a positive idea for our family and we didn't buy it. We weren't going to do it. So that changes the whole abuse thing, because they continue to talk to her about, we are who we are. We are our limitations. We are our narrow-mindedness. We are the lowest energy that you saw. That's who we were. And that was not going to change. So then that got us into, not everybody wants to evolve. And that's okay, because what's the ultimate rule here on earth? You have free will. You have free will to do almost anything you want, positive or negative. But since you're watching this video, you know that my goal is to always rise up the evolutionary spiral and get more and more and more of the positivity and the gifts of the spirit that your soul opens to receive, right? So that's why I do that exercise. I want to see spirit physically manifested in my life every single day when I leave the house. Now, it happens when I'm home too. Spirit touches me and guides me to other YouTube videos and learning and knowledge and wisdom too. So it happens when I'm alone too. But the fun part about living on a planet with 5 billion people, or whatever the number is up to now, is that when you go out, you can have a spiritual experience with another person in the physical world. And this is what my goal is. My goal is to bring both worlds together, that we feel and know the spirit when we're doing practical things. And that leads me to the next YouTube channel that's coming. It is going to be the practical side of my life and how spirit guides me to help other people in the physical world, right? That was always a thing with me. I never liked woo-woo explanations and out of the box. I like out of the box, but I don't like things that sound airy-fairy. And I don't like people when they're speaking about love and the energy and, oh, I mean, I have felt that. You can laugh with me. I have felt that feeling, but I don't want to stay in that lulled sense of spirit and walk around like I'm high. I want to be high on life, but I don't want to be out of my body while I'm living in the physical body. I don't want to be walking around like that, because then this poor body is vulnerable to anything, because you lose awareness. You lose your awareness if you stay too high, whether you're on drugs or not, in the airy-fairy energies, right? You're not going to be sharp. Now, if you're doing a meditation, by all means, take a ride on the airy-fairy energy. Enjoy the energy ride. Go for a ride. If you're into smoking pot, by all means, enjoy the ride. That's great. But at some point, you have to bring your soul's energy down into the body and create something, whatever that is, whether it's a connection with another person or a physical project or something in the physical world. So, that is the goal. Creativity is to bring things through this body and bring it to the world. So let's get back to the Cern. I know it looks like I went all around the world on this video, but let's get back to the Cern energy. If the machine, allegedly, is to open up a portal, whenever you hear something about opening a portal, all you need to do is say, I want the best energy coming through that portal. I want the energy that's here to bless all of humanity coming through the portal, and I receive the best energy for me to create the best life for me to share with others, so we can all join in unified, high frequency energies and create the world that we want to see. And there should be a new baseline coming through mass consciousness of the world we want to see. And I don't want to go into defining what that looks like. I think we all need to really focus on what our heart tells us, and what our soul tells us, and what the others tell us about how the world really is supposed to be. Now, in general, it is supposed to be an abundant life experience that's available for everybody. Some kind of abundance, some kind of freedom of the soul to express. That's part of all of our lives, is supposed to be. The ability to connect with others is part of living on the earth in the physical world. So there are a few very general things that I think we could agree we would like to experience more of, right? And this is not a superficial, try not to mishear the message. It's not a superficial thing. It's a deep feeling of the way we want life to be. And many, many people live this way. Many believers, many Jesus believers, they walk in the love of the Christ consciousness, right? And like me, I can talk to homeless people and I can talk to people on drugs. I don't have any animosity judgment. I can't. Everybody's having a unique life experience. The only thing I could do is, if I'm called to help in some way, say an encouraging word, maybe that'll help. So with the Cern energy, if it's truly a portal, what do you want to see that could help humanity? What energy do you want to see? So in your visualizations through the rest of today, tomorrow, during the week, keep tapping into, I'd like to see the energy of that portal represent peace, love, harmony, financial freedom, perfect health for all humans, freedom in general to express for all humans around the world. Remember, your world, my world, might be very freedom oriented, right? You may not be tied to some of the things or controlled by any outside entities. But remember, there are millions of people still being manipulated and controlled in this world. That is a fact. That's not speculation. It's a fact. And that's the stronghold that we want the portal energy to break for all humans. We want to dissolve, break, remove any strongholds for any human on the planet that's keeping them in any kind of slavery or bondage. It's very important. This is the goal of the reawakening, is to free humanity on many, many levels. And I don't want to get into all of that now. You know, there are many, many people talking about this kind of stuff. I want to get something. Hold on 1 second. Okay, when I'm talking about the energy, what you're receiving in your body, all the good things you want to receive. You want the perfect health energy to flow through, which means the higher frequencies can come in, they can touch areas of your body and help release any discordant energy. So even if you're under a doctor's care for some kind of disease or something that needs surgery, you can work with the energy behind all the care that you're getting and make it that much better. And there's a beautiful story in the December messages, the ones with this, you can't see it in this, there's a red painting behind me. And that's when I shared my family stories. And the one story that I keep telling over and over and over that I just love when I'm doing talks is what happened with my aunt. She was due for 2 new hips. And I have a friend now that her husband just got a new hip this week. So she didn't want it. She was a Scorpio and she doesn't like change. She didn't like change. She's passed on now. So finally her friends threatened her that they were going to put her in a wheelchair, which she was not going to let that happen. So, and you can listen to more of the family stories on those December messages, where this piece of furniture is behind me and this statue and then that painting. And I'm wearing, I forgot what I'm wearing in that video. I forgot what I have on. But anyway, it's very personal, all the family stuff, a lot of family messages. So in this particular instance, when she was alive, she needed the hips, and she finally relinquished, surrendered to getting the hips. So she called me because she wanted me to coach her how to prepare for the surgery. So this is how you merge yourself, your spirit, your being with the physical things you have to do. You program what you want to experience. And this is what I said to her. You need to talk to God, Creator, Jesus, all your team, whoever's working with you, and tell them why you're going to get the surgery. Well, she was having trouble walking up the stairs. Well, I want to be able to walk up the stairs with no pain and easy. Walking with friends was painful. I want to walk with my friends as far as I can go and never have pain. This is how you declare the energy that you want to feel and experience, right? So she does what I tell her for the weekend before the surgery.